So the Congressional Budget Office released estimates regarding the Build Back Better bill that just passed the House. And what we've seen once again is that Democrats are the fiscally responsible ones, not Republicans. Let's talk about it in today's video. Hi, I'm Mike Greiner. I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. If you share my concerns, maybe you could like this video and subscribe to this channel, maybe even click that little bell that will notify you when I post something new. So the Congressional Budget Office, sometimes called the CBO, which is the nonpartisan arm of Congress that analyzes the economic impact of different legislation, has released its what's called scoring, where they look at the budgetary impact and the economic impact of the Build Back Better bill. This scoring is what a lot of the moderates were waiting for before they wanted to vote on this legislation. And its release is why the House was able to pass this legislation yesterday. Now, I don't need to go into the myriad of benefits that this legislation is going to provide. I've done other videos on that, and I'll link later to one that talks about it. But what the CBO's analysis shows is that this nearly $2 trillion legislation would result in a budgetary impact to the deficit of $367 billion. And at the same time, they said that the IRS, through more aggressive enforcement measures, could expect to bring in $127 billion in new revenues, meaning that the budgetary impact, the net budgetary impact of this legislation would be $240 billion over 10 years. Now, that may sound like a lot of money, but the CBO, as it's known to be, is very conservative. It wants to make sure that its estimates are on the safe side rather than on the aggressive side. And the administration has argued, and many economists have agreed, that the CBO's estimates of new taxes that would be brought in as a result of more aggressive enforcement measures is probably on the low side, where the CBO is estimating that the more aggressive enforcement would bring in about $127 billion. The White House is arguing that it should bring in about $400 billion. Now, if the number is closer to the White House's number, then that means that the impact of this legislation on the budget deficit would be zero, or maybe even a positive. By the way, as always, I'll post links to the articles I'm relying on in making my analysis down below. Now, this is great news for the legislation, and it bodes well for its passage in the Senate, given the fact that the big concern Joe Manchin has raised with the legislation is its potential budgetary impact. And again, it just shows what hypocrites the Republicans are when it comes to the budget deficit. I mean, here they are complaining about the fact that this legislation is so expensive, despite the fact that even the CBO agrees that it's almost all paid for, while they gleefully passed the Trump tax giveaway to the rich a few years ago, despite the fact that the CBO said that that legislation would add $1.9 trillion to the total deficit. If anything, by the way, those estimates by the CBO have been seen to be conservative, and is probably even much worse the impact that that legislation has had. So aside from the fact that the Trump tax cuts did nothing to boost the economy as they claimed that it would, and added trillions of dollars to the deficit, now they're complaining about the fact that there's this expensive, wasteful legislation that would add to the deficit that would actually help average people rather than just the billionaires. Well, I think the differing approaches here shows the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Democrats, on the one hand, actually care about being fiscally responsible. And they also care about using government to help average people, working people. People who have to go and earn a paycheck every day just like you and me. Republicans, on the other hand, care nothing about fiscal discipline, and whenever they claim that they are, it's basically being hypocritical. All they care about is lining the pockets of the billionaires and the big corporate CEOs. And anyone who disagrees with that argument is really forgetting recent history. Well, if you agree with me or disagree with me, I'd love to see your comments down below. And up here, I'll link the other video that talks about the Build Back Better bill. And if you could like this video and subscribe to this channel, that'd be a huge help. I'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, let's hope for continued progress. Thank you.